Welcome to this episode of Leadership Unfiltered. Today, we are going to talk about ambition. Being driven by ambition, is that good or bad? I am an ambitious person. I've been driven by ambition. Less so now, but definitely for a good portion of my career, driven by ambition. For me, the source goes way, way back. I was in Dyersburg, Tennessee, which if you don't know where that is, it's okay. And which is where my mother's family is from and where we lived at the time. I spent my school year with my mom and my summers with my dad in Michigan. And we were poor. In Dyersburg, Tennessee, the whites and the blacks were separated by railroad tracks. They are still to this day. My mother physically fought for her kids to go to the white school because although it wasn't technically segregated, it was effectively segregated through gerrymandering. And so she had to fight for us to go to the white school. So my brother and my sister and I were the one of, I want to say 5 black kids in the entire school, which gave me access to a different world. And so I remember it was a fall day. School had just started. I was standing in the middle of the street. The sun was gently glowing orange, wind, gentle breeze, looking at my surroundings because school was very different than home. And I looked to my left and I looked to my right and I saw the poverty. And I said, this will not be my life. It won't be my life. In that moment, I made a commitment to myself that I was going to get out. And I was going to do whatever it took to get out. And I worked my butt off. And so I was on a mission, not just to get out, but to also bring as many people with me as I possibly could. Later, I learned that's a very difficult proposition, but that was the commitment that I made. And so I was driven. I was ambitious. I wanted it all. I was not going to stop until I got it. But there's a cost to that. There's a line from Thank Goodness and Wicked that always hits me like a Mack truck, which is there are bridges you cross that you didn't realize you crossed until you crossed. And happy is what happens when all your dreams come true, isn't it?
Wow.
That, it's the question, isn't it? Isn't when you get everything that you asked for, everything that you wanted, isn't that when you're happy? Let me tell you the answer. No. As Glinda, for those of you who haven't yet seen the second part of Wicked, spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. Because the answer to that question has always been and will continue to be no.
Yes.
Now, there's a difference between the choices that I've made and whether or not I regret them, which I don't. Not one line of it.
Yeah.
Would I have made different choices had I known the cost of those choices before making them? Who's to say? But I can absolutely say with confidence, I did not understand the cost of the choices I was making until I was on the other side. And so I would say, is ambition good or bad? I don't think it's inherently good or bad.
Yes. I agree.
What's underneath it is what really needs to be examined because it can show up in different ways. That fire was driven from scarcity. Yeah. It was not driven from a place of abundance. it was driven from fear, what I didn't want versus running towards something that I did want.
Yeah, that's good. I'm ambitious by nature. Born that way, don't know how to be any other way, don't want to be any other way. I think my ambition has served me in many ways, but there have been some costs as well. Some of my wins from being ambitious is being the first to go to college and graduate in my family. That came through my ambition to do so. Not only that, pursuing higher education, my doctorate, all through ambition. Nobody told me I had to do this. I was in a good place, good company, financially, family. There was no need for me to take on such a task as a doctorate degree, particularly when, truth be told, I wasn't even a good student to start. But my ambition said, do this, right? You can do this, and you need to do this. Again, nobody but my own ambition said for me to pursue that. But it was from that ambition and that fire to continue to make strides and strive and shoot for the stars got me something that I will always cherish, which is this education that few people in the entire world have. And so I'm proud of that. But to your point about cost, there was a cost to all of my ambition. Even when I go throughout my career and being ambitious and continuing to want to move up the ladder, wanting to retire at a certain age and achieving that, knowing what I was going to do after retirement because my ambition said this is what next. Ambition has given me a plan for my life.
Yes.
That I always knew where I was headed. There was not guesswork involved because my ambition said, what's next? That's a cost as well. Because my mind doesn't rest. Ambition says, what's next always. In my sleep, my brain is still racing for what is next. And I am reminded, my mom would say it, my wife has picked up and continues to coach me around, stop and smell the roses.
Yes.
Which is a simple way of saying you have achieved so much. You are in such a good place. Can you stop and celebrate your accomplishments? And my ambition won't let me. It says that was great, but that was then, this is now.
Yes.
And what is next? There's a cost to that. We talked about it in previous episodes. There's anxiety that comes with ambition and not knowing if you're going to achieve the next step, but knowing that there is a next step that you want to get to.
Yes.
Not resting on your laurels and saying, I've achieved these great things, but what's next? I remember talking to my mentor about getting this doctorate degree, what it would mean to me. And I achieved that. And I was like, now what? What's next, right? I got to go off and prove what I can do with this, that I'm smart. And I got to tell people with this doctorate degree how smart I am. And he said, who told you that you had to prove how smart you are? And I said, well, I got this doctorate degree. And he said, so that's not what this was for. And I was like, wow. What do you mean that's not what did I do this for? He was like, this was for you. And he reminded me outside of my ambition why I pursued it. Which was a greater purpose, not just for me, but it was for, at the time that I started it, my daughters were only 9 and 11. Yeah, maybe around that age. 7 to 9, somewhere around there. But it was to prove to them that anything you wanted in life was achievable if you were willing to go after it. That was my main goal. It wasn't just to talk to them and say, you could be whatever you wanted to be. I was going to demonstrate to them that this was something I wasn't good at, but I wanted it. And I was going to go after it and get it. And I did. And so ambition is, to your point, not good or bad. There are positives and negatives
Yes.
to being ambitious. You just need both, right? You just need to understand that there is both and that there is a cost, there is negative to being ambitious. And there's an impact to you and those around you, whether it's your team, your family, your friends. There is a cost.
That cost is real and it's personal.
Yes.
For some folks, they are aware of the cost and are willing to pay it. Some folks are aware of the cost and not. And it's very interesting how my perspective has shifted given that my ambition has waned in terms of what's next. It's like, no, the mountain that I wanted to climb, I climbed it, right? And I got to the top, got the t-shirt, and said, I think I need to climb down.
Yes.
I think I'm all set.
Yes.
But prior to that, I had a different view of people who I saw as lacking ambition. Where I see now, they don't lack ambition. They just are ambitious about other things. They're making those investments elsewhere. That was a good maturing for me to go, oh, it's not that they weren't ambitious. They just weren't competing in the same ways that I was competing. And they made different trade-offs. But the cost is real. That what's the next thing? I look back at me in my 30s. I was moving.
Yeah.
I was in motion all the time. And I can only now see it in hindsight. Because in the moment, it was, to your point, yep, did it, check the box, what's next? Yeah. Yep, did it, check the box, what's next? There's only one time when I think I really took stock. Now, of course, I didn't have the maturity to take the learning at that moment, but I did take stock.
Yes.
And that is when I was on stage getting my diploma for my master's. And they actually give you your diploma. For some folks, they open their diploma and it says, you owe us money.
Yes.
I didn't have that situation
Yes.
because mine was paid for, which was another benefit of my ambition, is that the company paid for it, lock, stock, and barrel. Very expensive graduate degree.
Yes.
And so when I was sitting on stage and I opened my diploma and it was there. And I said, I did that. While holding down a full-time job.
Yes. Yes.
I did that. And I started to cry because the weight of what that cost started to come in. Because my marriage was suffering. I didn't have time to invest in the relationship because between holding down a full-time job and going time and a half on a very difficult master's degree program and trying to just manage all of that, I wasn't making the investments that I needed to make in my personal life. And so just continuing to just go. And while I took that stock in that moment and I was like, but it was less than a week and a half before I was like, okay, what's next? My good friend a couple of days ago reminded me of kind of what I was like in my 30s. I was like, wow. And again, I don't regret it. Not a single line of it. Because I would not be sitting here without having gone through it. And I am grateful for my ambition. Very, very grateful for it. But it wasn't free. I missed a lot of birthday parties, baby showers, a lot of personal experiences, chasing after what I wanted. Yeah, I don't regret it. But I do now appreciate the cost. Because you don't get that time back.
Yeah.
Which is why folks who are really clear about that trade-off out of the gate,
Yes.
I have so much appreciation for.
Yeah.
because they were like, yeah, I know what that will cost and I don't want to pay it.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And so it's if I had to offer one thing to our audience, it would be one, ambition is good once you understand why and what's underneath it. Absolutely go after it. Go after it with a gusto, but make sure you stop and smell the roses. And to your point, and make sure that you check in to make sure that your needs haven't changed, your wants haven't changed, and that you're still continuing, you're still willing to make that investment.
Yes.
I was moving so fast and was so focused that I didn't do that as often as I should have.
Yes.
To make sure that it was still some, because I believe that my needs did change, but because I'd wanted it, the want became a thing in and of itself than the thing that you wanted.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I want that thing. I was like, oh, but once the want becomes an entity unto itself,
Yes.
then the object of the want, that's when things can get out of kilter. And that definitely was me.
Yeah. Ambition being my great motivator. And it helped me as a leader with wanting not only to do a good job, but, to meet expectations, not necessarily to exceed them, but to make sure I was meeting all the expectations. And it helped me in terms of motivation in my rise to the next rank, trying to seek to get to the next level. Those are all good things in my career. And my teams respected that motivation because it kind of blazed a path that they could see, okay, this is possible. And this is what it takes to get to the next level. And I'm able to coach and mentor through my ambition other people who had similar ambition. So those are all the positive things that happen as a leader, with ambition being my great motivator. Where it impacted me, and there was a cost to it, was competition. You mentioned that as being one of the negative factors of ambition, particularly as a leader. Personally, where that impacted me is the people that I should have been leaning on for their support, their mentorship, in some places their championship. I was in competition with those people and missed what I think now, I look back, an opportunity to lean on that network.
Yes.
And they were there to support me, but I couldn't even see it because my ambition said they were competition for me.
Yes.
And therefore I need to take them out in order to take their place. So now I'm competing with my boss and my boss's boss and trying to prove to them that I'm just as smart, just as capable as they are. And that's not the game. That is not how you get to the next level, is out competing your boss and your boss's boss. That's not the way this works.
Yes.
You need their support. You
Yes.
need their mentorship and
Yes.
coaching, and in some cases their sponsorship
Yes.
to get to the next level. And in my case, I'm competing and I missed all of that. And so that was the negative impact of my ambition. And then there were times when I'm so laser focused on what was next that I neglected my team's needs.
Yes.
Because at that moment, it was all about me.
Yes.
It's what's next for me. Now what's next for y'all, right? But this is about me. And while I'm competing and trying to figure out what's next for me, there was some real coaching and mentoring I could have been doing for my team that could have helped them with their ambitions. Funny thing is, would have helped me in my journey, right? Because a good leader is good when they can help those who they're leading with their aspirations and their ambitions and where they want to go. That's part of leadership. And when you're so blindly focused on your own ambition, you're not being a good leader.
Yep.
Because you're not doing any of those things to help your team. So those were some of the instances I look back on now and think there were some good things around my ambition. I got to levels that I aspired to get to, but I missed opportunity when I was in competition with those that could help me. And I failed my team in instances where I was so blinded by my own ambition that I wasn't a good leader for them.
I love that perspective, which is, how is your ambition impacting your ability to lead? Because it's true. Ambition tends to be very self-centered. And being self-centered isn't inherently bad. You just got to, again, put it in context.
Yes.
Like, there are times when, yes, you need to care about you.
Yes.
That's not a bad thing. But when you step into the role of leader, then you need to make sure that you're spending the vast majority of your time when you're leading caring about your team, the broader context. And so your ambition has to fit inside that. I definitely have compromised some relationships, professional relationships, the same way that you described, in terms of seeing them as competitors.
Yeah.
When maybe that's true, but that's not the context.
Right.
The context is, we're colleagues. You're my leader, or I'm your leader. I don't think there's been a place where I felt I was competing with someone on my team.
Yeah.
But I have seen it.
Yes. Absolutely.
I have seen it.
Yes.
And so it's really, because power dynamics aren't necessarily hierarchical. It's important that we keep that in mind. If your ambition begins to see your network as competition, then it may be time to reevaluate, to check in, to say, is my ambition sitting inside the right context?
Yes.
Because your network, which you are also a part of, is meant to be a benefit to you. Yes. If you begin competing against something that's supposed to be a benefit to you, it stops being a benefit.
Yes. And we mentioned in a prior episode around networking.
Yes.
That if you are in a network just to take resources from that network and not give anything back,
yes,
then that's not really a network. You're not getting any of the benefit of the network.
Yes.
And your taking is through your ambition, then that is a negative trait of ambition. Your network should help you with your ambition.
Yes.
And be a positive force around that. It's good. Have you seen in your travels, in your experience, an instance where ambition has derailed someone's career? If not, some instances of your own, but just in your travels, you say, wow, this person totally went off the rails with ambition, and it kind of sidetracked or derailed their career.
That's a hard question to answer. Because whether or not it derailed their career is a question for them.
Yes.
Not me.
That's good.
But I will say, from an outsider's perspective, definitely. It tends to be biting off more than you can chew, which often happens because we overestimate our capability and underestimate the amount of effort and work it takes to accomplish something. And that's just been a perennial human condition. Yes. Like, oh, I can absolutely do all of that by myself, and I can do it in 5 minutes. Yes. It's like, no, you can't do it by yourself, and it's going to take you 3 weeks.
Yes.
So that is what I've noticed. So I was coaching, one of the ways organizations test whether or not someone is ready is they give them special projects. A mature organization will give someone a special project as a substitute for their day job. So you stop doing your day job and you go off and do the special project. Yes. Less mature organizations say you have a special project in addition to your job.
Yes.
Which is a recipe for disaster.
Another episode.
That is absolutely another episode, which we need to put that one on the backlog. Yes. Special projects and how to handle them.
Yes.
And so I was coaching this gentleman who was given a very high profile special project. My perspective and that I was offering them, because we were in a less mature organization where there was an expectation that you do your day job and the special project. And I said, this is about expectation management. It's less about delivery. What they're testing you on isn't whether or not you get the project done, although that's important, don't get me wrong. What they're testing you on is how well you're able to manage and navigate the senior leaders and keep their expectations in alignment with reality. That's what this test is. From the outside looking in, this person was so ambitious and they focused on delivery in terms of being able to get this thing done. If I get this done, then I will have checked the box. Yes. I tried multiple ways to guide this person to actually see the larger context. Because what they're looking for is the next director, not the next project manager.
Yes.
You're already a project manager. Yes. They know you can run a project. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given you the special assignment. That's not the objective. The objective is, can you successfully navigate the politics and the people at the executive level? They were just laser focused because all they could see was getting that gig. Yes. I couldn't break through. Because here's the reality. You can't be successful in delivery without the people saying you were successful.
Right.
Let me say that one more again.
Yes.
For the people in the back.
Yes.
You cannot successfully deliver a project without your stakeholders saying you successfully delivered the project. Right. Which is why managing them is so important. The special project was not successful because he overly leaned on his project delivery expertise, and he could not break free of seeing the larger context. And I submit that it was his ambition that blinded him. Yeah. But that's my perspective from the outside looking in.
That's good.
But it is blinding, and I know it's blinded me. So I am definitely not in a glass house throwing stones. Yes. It has 100% blinded me to a multitude of things. So I am by no means saying that he failed in terms of where maybe he could or shouldn't have. But that was what happened and what was unfolded. And it was unfortunate and painful to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that.
So we are at time. We talked about ambition and having that drive you, whether or not that's good or bad. We landed on it's not good or bad. It just needs to make sure that it's set inside the right context. We both shared some stories and some learnings along the way about how ambition has impacted us personally, how it's impacted our teams and our network. This is a very deeply personal topic. It really is something that needs to be discussed more, and I'm glad we had the opportunity to discuss it with you today. And we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Leadership Unfiltered. We hope you have found value in our conversation and are ready to take action in your leadership journey. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, share, and leave us a review. And don't forget to connect with us on social media for more leadership insights and resources. Until next time, keep leading with purpose.